The Mirror with Beauty Benjamin.
The church said this is your result, and I was made to go to another clinic to run the test again.
Real conversations, bold questions, life-changing moments.
A picture of what is going to happen in the next 10 years. He said they have a code that governs their trade. The people that sell don't take.
Every Friday at 10 a.m. on RSTV.
Somebody may have parents, but the parents are not involved.
They're not involved. Covers motherhood.
Yes.
Covers mentorship. And everything.
Join the host, Beauty Benjamin, as she brings you face-to-face with truth and powerful stories that will move you. Tune in on GoTV, channel 142, Star Times, channel 113, and follow The Mirror across all social media platforms. The Mirror with Beauty Benjamin.
Hello, good morning, and thanks for joining us. This is Inside the Mirror with Beauty Benjamin, your program that comes to you every Friday at 10 a.m. on the studios of RSTV. Here we pause to think and look at life issues, challenges, what the society brings, what life throws us out, and how we can handle, how we can express ourselves, how the family can function, how better we can get the family so we can get our society better. Today we are looking at something that is affecting every woman, every girl child out there. If you're a girl child, if you're a woman, you must have passed through this road, or you are going to pass through it if care is not taken. And today we're talking about female genital mutilation. Is it a taboo to be a girl child? Is it wrong to be a girl child, to be a woman? A lot of things happen to the women. The girl child is exposed to a lot of dangers and a lot of things that damages, that causes damage to your system and all that, things that interrupt your growth, things that interrupt your well-being and all that. But today we're looking at, like I said before, the trauma that comes with female genital mutilation. And I have with me today someone who is passionate about this cause, someone who has taken up upon and says, look, I want to research, I want to know what are those trauma that comes with it, the depressions, the feelings that goes with female genital mutilation. Join me today as I bring to you my guest who is passionate about the girl child or the woman. I'm a woman, she's a woman. I'm talking about Dr. Tina Iyala Maraska, as she exposes what it means or the trauma that comes with it and everything you need to know about female genital mutilation. Dr. Tina Iyala Maraska is a forensic psychologist, also an educator and trauma-focused researcher with over 2 decades of experience serving marginalized populations, particularly women and children impacted by violence, displacement, and systemic neglect. Her work bridges forensic science, psychology, and human rights, emphasizing trauma recovery and survivor advocacy and culturally responsive care. In addition to her clinical and academic roles, Dr. Maraska has worked extensively within social services, serving as a director of several programs dedicated to supporting vulnerable women, children, and families across New York City. Her leadership in community mental health and crisis intervention has informed her broader mission to integrate ethical psychology with social justice as systemic reform. As an educator, Dr. Maraska has taught psychology and forensic studies at several New York universities, mentoring future professionals in trauma-informed practice, ethics, and intersection of law and mental health. We're talking about a girl child who has now become a woman, a full-blown woman, who has taken upon herself to sleep this particular trauma that comes with female genital mutilation. I want to look at it critically because back home here, we are faced with a lot of trauma. But this particular trauma that comes with it, we want to find out. But first, I'd like to ask our guest. Okay, you're welcome to the show, Dr. Iyala.
Thank you.
It's good to know that you're a woman and you're fighting the cause for women because a lot of things is happening to the girl child today, and we seem to be on the receiving side, and most times when we fight, people think that we are doing, we are fighting just because we are female or feminist fight and all that. But these fights are critical because it damages the women, it damages our self-esteem, it traumatizes us, it depresses us and all that, and it goes a long way to tamper with our esteem. Now, what is female genital mutilation in your own terms?
Oh, female genital mutilation is actually called female circumcision, you know. But in today's era, we as feminists and also as from a psychological perspective, we think it is a mutilation of the genital area. So therefore the name arises from the fact that it's not a circumcision. With men, when we talk about circumcision, there is a need for it. When it comes to a woman,
There's no need.
there's no need. No, there's no statistical or mental or medical practice that states to the fact that it has any effect. You know, so medically it has not been substantiated. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, it's not needed. Female genital mutilation has 4 stages of it. They have type 1, type 2, type 3, and type 4. The type 1 is clitoral. The second one is excretion, and the third one is inflammation, and then there is the fourth aspect of it. The first one is very minor, where they take the labia off, and the excretion aspect of it is when they take both sides of the labia off of it. And then the third part of it is the inflammation, where they actually stitch the vagina, and other forms of piercing. So it's extremely important for us to understand that this procedure is not inhumane. It is basically one that has ramifications for women, and also, although it's culturally accepted, it is not one that has any value, like I had stated in the past, but also it is one that is encouraged as a form of marginalization for women. Okay.
Dr. Yala, let's see now. Why FGM remains, why do you think it remains an urgent global mental issue?
It is urgent because in as much as many countries have banned the practice, it is still done, you know, secretly within our culture, and actually promoted culturally. In other words, in some countries, they'll say the woman has to go through it like a birthright, or she may have to go through it from a marginal right. When she gets married, now she has to go through it before she have her children, otherwise the children will not be cleansed. These are all cultural beliefs, but they are basically based on no scientific or even common sense value. The idea here is the fact that women are dying every day as we speak, and it's very imperative on our part to emphasize this. Women are really dying every single. That's why I'm here. I'm not here for the photo shoot. I'm not here to convince you, but I'm here to let you know, enlighten you, that women are dying, young girls are dying as a result of maladaptation of what they think this process is. This is a procedure where a woman's genital has to be altered, and it's based on cultural reasons which has no value or scientific meaning. And the procedure that they use to conduct this practice, or when they're trying to circumcise this woman, is actually inhumane. As you can see, you can Google it yourself. If you go on the media, you'll see where they use razor blades just to cut the woman. Women are bleeding, women get infections, women have difficulty with childbirth. Some of them actually, when they go through the incision process, when they want to have a child, that's when they have to go back and cut the woman so that she can be able to have the baby. And you know, in Africa, we lack lots of medical practice.
Yes.
There's no good medicine, no good care, ordinary care. Therefore, women are contacting infectious diseases from it, and most of them go into septic shocks and die. You find that some African women have a foul odor. Some of these are arising as a result of this process of, I would say female genital mutilation, but you may call it circumcision. My basic purpose here is the fact that this is a groundbreaking study. As an African, I think it's incumbent on me to at least share knowledge, because it's time for us to all come together and understand what is being done to us. In as much as 20 million women Black women are dying as a result of this practice that has no medical, none at all, advantage as to why we should do it. It is based on the control of human, especially women's sexuality. We find that society will say, okay, if you conduct the practice, it will inhibit the woman from promiscuity. But in reality, you find that statistics have shown that most of the women who have been circumcised actually are more promiscuous. Why are they promiscuous? Because they lack the finality of sexual gratification. So there is this need from a psychological perspective to want more. So instead of teaching the woman how to control herself, when they cut this genitalia, then the woman does not achieve full orgasm. Studies show that. So if you look at it, let's look at it. I want us to really look at it. I'm speaking to you as an African, and I'm speaking to you as a Nigerian, and I'm speaking to you as a woman. Female genital mutilation should be banned, it's banned, but it's being practiced. Now we need to convey this knowledge to our leaders in the villages so they can stop it. The NGOs have really tried to even create psychoeducational studies to stop it, but in most cultures it's being practiced. So now that brings me as to why I'm here. I'm conducting a study at Kingsley Harrison Hospital. And the study, again, like I had stated, is based on the psychological effects of female genital mutilation based on underlying theory of complex trauma. I'm a trauma specialist, and at this point, we're doing testing to understand the impact of female genital mutilation when it comes to post-traumatic stress syndromes. So it's going to be exciting. We already have our participants. I must say that I thought I would have difficulty. The hospital was very kind, so they were able to go through the process of IRB. It was a difficult process, about a year, for us to get the permission to do this study, and we're going to do this study. It's a groundbreaking study, and I'm very proud of myself. Why am I proud of myself? I'm a psychologist for the last 20 years, and every psychologist in America have studied female genital mutilation, but they have not been able to align female genital mutilation to underlining it with DSM-5. DSM-5, if I may add, is a psychological manual where we use categorization system. So in other words, we can use the symptoms to match, to categorize in order for us to find out how is it affecting you. I'm trying to break it down very gently so that you can understand it.
Yes, because we want those women or girls who are watching at home, who will watch it later in our rural communities, to understand the implication why you should not alter what God made us male and female, and God has a reason why He molded the way He molded the woman. So no one should have the right or take that consent from a human being, because these things have been done from the ages of 0 to 5 years, when you can't even give consent to it. So she's taking her time to break it down so that you can understand why you should not let someone. There's a song teachers sing for children, my body parts, they're your personal property. No one should touch it. Nobody should, except you give consent to it. So I hope you understand. So follow us and get the facts right, so that you don't give anybody consent, or you don't give consent on behalf of your child as a mother or even as a father. Right on, doctor.
Thank you very much. Yes, wonderful host. Yeah, but it's a very serious matter. It's extremely serious. The problem we're having is no one in European countries will carry on this burden for us. We have to carry the burden on our own. And this is a stage for awareness. The awareness should come within. I am really sick and tired of Africans as a whole hoping for European countries to rescue us.
See those in a lot of things.
Financially, emotionally, in every aspect. No, they're not coming. And it's incumbent on each and every one of us to stand up. That's why I'm here. Should be your role model, and I want you to be my role model. I want us to develop Africa from a different perspective altogether. From one that is based, this is basic psychology, from one that is based on the self, the ability to heal yourself, the ability for you not to rely on the next person or somebody to tell you who you are, the ability to appreciate yourself. When a woman has been mutilated, the predominant symptom that we find is low self-esteem. Because now she has a body part that's missing. And then she usually stays from afar and look at other women. And you see women jumping in joy in their marriages. But she's sad. She cannot even understand the psychological turmoil that has taken place in her life without having sex. And it's extremely difficult. So when I first ran into this topic 20 years ago, that's when my research actually started. When I ran into it, I felt sorry. Because I grew up in the North. I was born in Jos.
Wow.
Yes, I was born in Jos. I grew up in the North. And I find that Northerners do that a lot. And I find that when I was going to school with my counterparts, one day my friend came and she was standing afar. She was in pain. She was only about 6 or 7 or 8 years old. And I was touching at her and like, what happened? What happened? She's like, no, she was in pain. There is no anesthesia that they give to them when they cut. They actually hold their hands just to cut, So there is no form of understanding as to why this practice should still be taking place. There is no form of reason as to why it should take place. It is important that we relay these messages to our leaders, our friends, our family members, and society as a whole. Now that we're talking about it, we should have some form of therapeutic intervention for women who have undergone this practice so that they can be able to understand the damages that have been done psychologically, so they can be able to cope. Because at this point, they are coping not as humans, but from the perspective of resilience. You understand what I'm saying? Resilient to the fact that it's okay, it's cultural, it's not okay, you're a human. No one has the right to come and take a part of your genitalia because it's based on culture. A culture that has no real foundation as to why it is practiced. It is not in the Quran, the Bible, or anywhere. This is just social control. Need I say more? But it's incumbent on you not to engage in this practice. It is one that takes us as society to start understanding things differently. And if we impose culture, then we should impose culture reasonably. We cannot just impose culture without meaning. That is a form of social control. I'm not saying society shouldn't control, but it should have meaningful control, not one that has no meaning. So, women should be more aligned as to what's going on. They should visit their gynecologists regularly and really inhibit the practice.
Yeah, now I am aware that in 2015, the federal government of Nigeria declared a ban on female genital mutilation. Now, what do you think the government should do? Because it's because you're passionate about this now. And from the experience, it was very emotional for me when you're talking about the story of your friend back then.
Yeah.
I can feel the pain. I imagine it. All of us went through it, but we didn't remember all we can. Now, I will not want my child to go through that pain right now. I'm better informed now, and I know that I will not want to subject any girl child. What do you think the government can do right now? Because this ban has been on by the federal government, but I still believe there are still some places that are still carrying out this practice. So what do you think the government can do?
Yes, United Nations and the World Health Organization has incorporated some basic philosophies and ideas of how this can be eradicated to other women. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not fair, okay, to the individual.
So now let's look at the trauma part of it.
Right.
And that is what interests me a lot, because, like I said in the opening, a lot of things build up our trauma, depression and all that. But this trauma, how do you even know someone who is traumatized from that aspect and what to be done?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Trauma is often very silent. A person can be going through trauma and don't even understand it.
Yeah.
You understand? Some people run to churches. Some people run to spirituality. Some people run to native doctors while dealing with trauma, thinking they will be able to resolve their problems there. Every single one of us psychologically, and I'll speak to you from a psychological perspective, have what we call underlying trauma. We're born with it. Because some families come in from poor homes, some come from rich, and then we go these traumatic phases. But in as much as, we go through these distinctions, it is very important. If I should teach you something today, as a psychologist, the only thing I want you to do is start appreciating yourself and stop running to the churches. I love churches, but don't run to the churches for your problems. Don't run to your native doctors for your problems. The native doctor cannot save you, according to my father. My father said, if the native doctor can save you, he should have saved himself first. You understand?
Yeah.
He should have saved himself first. So that was my early teachings. And so when I ran into psychology, I loved it. I loved it because first, you go through the process of finding out who you are, who you really are. From a psychological perspective, mental perspective, social perspective. Then you develop that competency. The other aspect you must do, you must forgive yourself for everything. If you have bad genes, forgive yourself. If you have good genes, appreciate yourself. If you have no hair, it's all right. If you have no body, it's all right. If you have no money, it's okay. Appreciate who you are. Now, after appreciating who you are, now you build yourself up. We all have deficiencies. Every single one of us on this planet have deficiencies. No one is perfect. But the only perfect thing you can do for yourself is know who you are and appreciate it. And the moment you appreciate it, even within your faults, you'll fix it the way you want it, not the way someone wants it. That's psychology. Psychology is based on self. Your ability to know who you are. Your ability to correct what you are. The ability even to accept that which you are not. And the ability to know that that which you are not has no importance and it is relative. Relativity at this point is not just based on you are my relative. It's based on perception, the way you see things, the way I see things. So if you want to start now, my brothers and sisters, if you really want to start, let's try to understand what is a woman. A woman is one who gave birth to you. A woman is one who nurtures your child. A woman is the one responsible for this planet because we are wife. Society must now start to appreciate women. I'm a feminist, but I respect women because I love my father and I respect men. So I appreciate that. The government should develop programs to empower women. Because the reason why some of these issues like genital mutilation occur is because of early childbirth or early child marriage. Sometimes the household is forced for teenage marriages to occur, and then they infuse genital mutilation as a measure. So you find women getting married from early ages. So they are compelled to go through these ritualistic ways of the demands of these early marriages. So now, if you are able to empower a woman educationally, she too will grow the nation, rather than for us to sit down and rely on people. You cannot rely on the government to take care of you. You can only rely on yourself. But we plead with the government at this point to help with the development of programs. In Nigeria, we have multitudes of companies that come in here and utilize our resources. How are we taxing them? I'm a psychologist. We can develop big programs with the Ford Foundation, Shell, all these big companies, oil companies that are around here. They should provide funding so we can develop infrastructures so women can go out there and empower themselves, so we don't have to be reliant on unnecessary cultural, unrealistic ways of dealing with issues. So therefore it is important that the government seriously get involved with women's needs. In other words, develop small little programs where you can even disseminate this information about not engaging in this practice, because it has no value. If anything, it allows the woman to have very low self-esteem about herself in comparison to other women outside the nation.
Now, I'll find out. This is the last question I want to ask now before I let you go, because our time is up now.
Right.
In summary, what are you putting out there for government, the men? Now, you have said a lot here, but maybe someone who just walked in, who did not get all of that, or someone who is slow to understand. In summary, what is your final word for not just we the Nigerians,
right,
but every tribe that is practicing or that has practiced female genital mutilation?
Well, in summary, all I could say is what is done is done. You know, we cannot go back and turn back time to all these women who have really suffered, but we can learn from it. Engage social workers, engage psychologists, engage environmentalists, engage our leaders, engage church people, spiritual people, but not native doctors, and the practice should be stopped, period.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yala. It's been nice having you on the show.
Thank you very much.
I want to believe and pray that your research is successful. Everything that you want to get to know, you get you. I mean, where you are already conducting it is a nice place, and I'm sure that you have a good service there. Thank you so much for putting yourself out there as a woman, because some other person could also be a woman but not interested. But you are interested in the woman and in the girl child, and you say, look, I want to put myself out there, bearing the cost. Let me do this. I mean, it's something that is commendable, and sincerely, I say thank you for doing this.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Everything that you've heard today, don't take it lightly. If you are a woman out there, if you are a man out there, a father or a mother, whoever you are, and you have at one time given consent to this practice, I think you owe that girl an apology, because the trauma, the depression, the things that girl child had gone through, you can't imagine it. And if you're out there and you're still thinking of carrying out the same practice, you should stop. See the woman like you see yourself. She should be respected. Her body should be respected. We should have the same right like you have. Don't touch. If I give you consent, you should touch. But if I don't. So do not carry your children and give to someone to court to mutilate. Let us stop this act so that we can have a better society. And like I said before, this program is not coming to you from the studios because I had to chase my guest to where she was, and she came into. I'm coming to you from the Hotel Presidential in Port Harcourt, and then we are out of studio. Until same time, same station next week. I am Beauty Benjamin. Keep watching the mirror. Stand in front of the mirror because every reflection tells a story and inspires you to do more. Thank you. Have a nice day.